Hi, I'm Dan Ashley, and this is What Really Matters. And I'm really glad to have a rock and roll icon, a Bay Area native, and a friend of mine, Sammy Hagar. Sammy, great to be with you. Thanks for coming
Dan.
in.
Happy to be here.
Thank you. You were talking about the end of summer as we walked in here today, which is always kind of a mixed feeling, but you're still wearing your summer shoes.
Well, that's no shoes. I put on these long pants. It's really hot. I love summer. I would come in my bathing suit, really, but I wanted to give you some respect, Dan, as my old friend, and I put on some long pants. I said, I can't put on shoes and socks with this, so... No, I'm a beach nut. I always have loved the summer. And
have you been since a kid? You've always loved the beach?
When I was a kid, it was all, I was a poor kid. You know, right. I'm not bragging. I'm not complaining either. Right. But, you know, the beach was free. And you could go, if you could afford to get to the beach, you know, we live pretty close, right, about an hour. Me and my friends would pool our money. I mean, every day, every time we could possibly do it, we went to the beach. And you spend a whole day sitting next to, not that we did, but it's a public beach. You can have Oprah Winfrey over here, you could have Bill Gates over here, and they're soaking up the same sun, sitting in the same sand, looking at the same view, and swimming in that same water. Yeah. But it's free. Yeah. And I always said that about being poor growing up, that the beach, a lake, any water source where you can go and enjoy, have a picnic, enjoy your family, your friends, swim and play all day. It doesn't get any better than that.
No, it's simple pleasures. Really.
Yeah, you can go out on a big yacht and sit out there if you want, but you can also sit on that beach. You know, so anyway, I just think that's a wonderful thing for everyone on this planet to enjoy, and I've always enjoyed it, and I still do. You know, after I became rich and famous, what did I do? Bought a house on the beach, so I could be there more.
And still wear your flip flops.
Yeah, right? So it's a good thing.
Now I know you love summer. You're a beach guy, as you said. When the seasons change, as we're heading into fall, does that bum you out? Or?
Oh, hell no. I was born in October, so, you know, my first breath of air I took was October 13th, and it was the fall. Right. And I get those deja vu feelings from that. It's my second favorite time. I like it more than spring, you know, because I was born then. And it seems like when I take a deep breath, I in this fall, and you start smelling the trees, you know, turning brown, and I get deja vu, and I get wonderful.
And the air's kind of crisp. You feel that.
Yeah, you get those wonderful, very deep feelings in a fall. I think it's a very soulful time of the year. Winter is rough for me. I'll go straight to Cabo, but I'm telling you, the fall's wonderful. I have my birthday bash in Cabo every year with all my friends come down there and play, and I just head to Cabo then, and I pretty much spend my winters in Mexico as much as I can.
You do, and your birthday bash in Cabo has become bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger over the years.
Yeah, it's almost crazy because we had to start selling tickets about 5 years ago. People slipped on the street. So then the city, it got really ugly. People were wrapped around the whole city. You'd have 5,000 people sleeping for a 500-seat club. You know, we'd let 1,000 people in, but it would be, and then they would come out and they'd get back in line. And by my 5th or 6th night of playing, those people were tired and dead. I'd be saying, you people need to go back to your room and get a damn sleep and, you know, good night's sleep. You know, and so we started charging. I charged my birthday year, you know, if I'm 60, which I'm not.
We'll talk about that.
We charge that.
Right.
It's a lottery on my website, redrocker.com. The lottery this year had something like 100,000 entries for 3 500 seat nights.
Really?
Yeah, for 1,500 tickets.
Does that surprise you? I mean, I know you have fans everywhere, but that's amazing, really.
It is. Yeah, it's become this crazy event that people just want to be a part of. And first of all, it's pretty cheap to see Sammy Hagar in the Circle, Toby Keith, you know, Kenny Chesney, you know, Slash, you know, everybody in this
who knows
dog
who else
come
is
down, right? And they
every
play.
game.
Yeah, every night you have a bunch of different celebrities. So it's a pretty cheap ticket. You know, if the Rolling Stones were playing at my place, they'd be charging $50,000 a ticket, but it's all right. I'm happy to do it. The only reason why I charge is so we could organize it. Yeah, and it's they're still sleeping on the sidewalk, by the way.
Are they really?
Yeah,
still?
So that they can be in the front when the door is
open.
open.
It's amazing how I was in Cabo and actually went to Cabo Wabo. I texted you from there, as you recall, with a picture a few months ago, and I hadn't been to Cabo in years, probably 15 or 20 years prior to that. I was stunned at how much it's changed. Yeah, and I think your club is part of that. I think it's a huge attraction.
Well, it started it. You know, when I built the cantina, there were 3 or 4 hotels there. That's it, and dirt roads and nothing. The marina was open. You could see Land's End, and you know, all that's changed. But I can't take credit for all of it, because if I could, I would be I would own Cabo if I would have been smart. I should have bought the whole damn place. I could have got it for like $1 million.
You should have bought land earlier on.
No, I did. I have a house and a few, I have some land, and I own the property, and I own the Cabo Wabo building, and then the property.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, but I bought it way back then.
But does it surprise you how much it's changed?
Yeah.
It's a totally different place.
It's
in a good way, I think.
Well, good for business, but I'm not sure it's good for the environment. There's two problems. They don't have water, so they got to ship in all this water. The businesses downtown like us, we have to buy truckloads of water 3 or 4 times a week. It's crazy.
Really?
Yeah, it has to come from up in the mountains. The pipelines empty out. The hotels suck it all up before they get there. A lot of people don't know this stuff, and almost everyone's on a system where you help to build a big tank. So we have these huge tanks under the Cabo Wabo. We knew it back then. There was a water problem. So there's not enough water. The water is going to get polluted eventually. It's the cleanest water in the world when I first went there. I mean, it was just, and it still is clean because it's a little tiny peninsula, so they can't get too much population.
Right.
But the 250, 260,000, 200, maybe 200,000 or 300,000 people that now.
Oh,
I see.
So
when I went there, 6,000 people lived in Cabo.
Really? Wow.
Including all the hotels.
What year did you first go there?
60. Wait a minute. Oh, God, let me get my brain together. Oops.
Roughly.
77.
77.
77,
okay.
not
Wow.
60. Oops.
But it's amazing
77.
how that place has changed, and but you still love it.
I still love it.
Is that your favorite place in the world? I know
Sardinia
you love the
is
Bay.
my favorite place, but it's too damn far. I love Cabo. It's the closest place. I mean, I love Hawaii. I love the islands. I love Fiji. Tahiti. I'm an island. I'm a beach nut.
Right.
But Cabo's so close, and it's so great, and I got such a good infrastructure. I end up spending most of my time there. But it's this little tiny peninsula, and it's beaches all the way around. It's coast.
Right.
So even all the population there, you can still find beaches all over Cabo where you can look and have a mile or two walk with maybe see one person. Wow. Right in front of my house right now. There's hotels all over the place. I walk out on my beach, I can walk for an hour and not see anyone.
Really?
Yeah.
Still?
Yeah.
That's interesting. What is it, and maybe Cabo, but what's the best vacation you ever had and why?
Well, the best vacation I ever had was the first time I went to Cabo in 76 or 77, whatever it was, and I fell in love with that place because it turned out to be, it's my livelihood. It changed my life, changed my lifestyle. It made me everything anyone could. It made me things I never dreamed of.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Like what?
Look,
Give me an
Cabo
example.
Wabo tequila, which I sold for more money than I ever imagined anyone could ever have, much less me. And things like that. It changes your life. It was life-changing, and it was all spiritual, and it's like a spiritual awakening that brought it. Not like, oh, I'm a smart business guy. I'm going to come down here and make all this money. I had no clue about making money in Cabo. I said, I want to build a little canteen. I'm spending down here so much time. I want to build a little tequila bar where I can sit up with an acoustic guitar and bring my friends, you know.
Right.
And that was the inspiration behind it. And then it turns into this mega business. And, Cabo Wabo Cantinas, I still own 3 of them, and I could have 50 of them if I wanted, but I don't want to expand it that much. And it's just a gold mine that keeps giving. It's the goose that lays a golden egg every time I need it. And I love it. So that's the most important vacation. But Sardinia is my opinion. I'm sorry. I think it's called the Costa Smeralda, place called the Cala de la Volpe. That's where I stayed the first time. It was my first real vacation in the 80s,
and it just spoke to you for some reason.
Oh,
what was it? Why? What was it about that place?
Well, the Italians know how to live. The food, right? The ambiance,
People are very kind and generous and welcoming.
Yeah. Oh God. The next thing, and you go to Sardinia. When I was back in then, the next thing I knew, 3 days later, I'm over at one of the waiter guys. I'm over at his house, and his mom's cooking for me and my family.
They're like that. I mean, your family.
Invite you right in. So anyway, I just love the ambience of Sardinia, and they have really great rules now that you can't build on the coastline. You can't. They've got it. They got it down.
Yeah.
They controlled it. They haven't ruined it.
So you like those places around the world, but all this time you've been a Bay Area guy. I mean, you really identify yourself as a Bay Area resident and native in some ways. Why? What do you like so much about this place?
I don't know. I could live anywhere in the world. I live in Cabo. I've lived in Maui. I just sold my house in Maui after 27 years, but I live in Southern California at the beach a little bit. But the Bay Area's got so much soul. It's such an art community. Yeah. It's very active. I'm not an activist myself, but I like that they stand up and they get out there and they do, which is not my favorite thing at this time in the world, because we can go into that later.
Right, sure.
But it's, you know, art, and there's food, and there's music, and there's a bay, and there's beauty, and there's a mountain, and you can go skiing, and there's a big beach out there right on the whole coast.
It's a little
gorgeous.
cold, though, for your taste.
It's okay. When the summer, it's all right.
It's all right.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's, you know, I don't mind bundling up and walking on the beach in the winter, but it's just not my favorite thing to be cold.
But this is, you've lived here for 40 years, probably, haven't you?
Yeah.
And will you stay here forever? Can you imagine leaving the Bay Area or leaving a home here?
Oh no, absolutely not. I mean, this is what I call home.
Yeah.
You know, and I live other places, but it's, I don't know. It's something deep rooted about the Bay Area. I was born in Salinas,
right?
You know, and the first time I came to San Francisco in the 66, 67, the hippie thing, I said, "Wow, this is really cool," and I want to move here. So my band, I started changing band members that didn't want to leave, you know, the hometown. And I said, well, I'm going to find guys that want to get out here and go to San Francisco. So we'd load up our van with equipment. We'd drive up to San Francisco. On our off nights down there, we'd be playing at clubs. And we'd go into clubs. It used to be the Basin Street West, and back in them days, was the first place I had a gig on Broadway. And then the Peppermint Tree Lounge, which became other things. We would go in there and beat on the door and ask the guy, hey, let us play. He'd say, well, okay, come play on Monday night for free. We said, we'll play for free. We get up,
really?
You know, and there'd be like 10 people in there, and they'd be going, hey, these guys are really good. Until I got the gigs. Slept on people's floor, drove that truck back and forth every weekend. I just wanted to be here really bad.
Yeah.
And when I want something and I get it, I'm not one of those guys that goes, okay, next. I'm like, hey, this is what I wanted. I'm good with it.
You savor it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you know, like I say, if you catch your dream, you don't go, okay, next. You got to live that dream. If you catch it, you know.
I think as we talk about what really matters here today, a lot of people aren't happy in the world.
That's right.
Don't have that attitude. They get to the destination and it's an empty bag because it isn't enough.
Here come the goosebumps.
Yeah.
Look at this, folks.
No, it's true. You're getting them.
Yes, I am. It's so important. Dan.
It's an attitude of gratitude, I guess. And you strike me, as I've known you for a few years, and what I've always seen about you, you strike me as a pretty happy guy, just generally in life. I'm one of those fortunate people. I've been a happy person my whole life, too.
You have smiling eyes.
You know, and we all have hard times, but by and large, I've been a happy person. You strike me as the same way, and do you attribute maybe that attitude, appreciating what you've been able to achieve, big and small, as part of that?
Mm-hmm. I think starting with nothing, everything I got, I was happy to have. You know what I mean? It's like if you start off with so much, but I won't even go there. Starting out with nothing, everything I got, it made me happy. And I realized that success and achieving things that I really wanted made me happy. And some people I know that don't. It makes them miserable. And I'm going, well, what is the difference? And as I've gotten older, I figured out that if you know what you really want and you get it, it'll make you happy. Right. If you don't know what you want, you're just grabbing at things, and somebody throws something at you and you get it, and you go, oh, that's not even what I wanted.
Doesn't have the meaning.
It doesn't have, it doesn't hit your soul. So if you are lucky enough to know what you really want, you can go out and get it.
And did you knew what you wanted? Happy. You wanted to be a musician? You wanted to be...
Absolutely. I wanted to be rich and famous. I did, you know. I mean, I was poor, not famous. I wanted to be rich and famous. Not for all the wrong reasons. Who knows why I really wanted it. I just didn't want to be poor anymore.
You wanted a lifestyle that maybe you didn't have as a kid, that you saw that was available potentially.
I wanted to travel the world. I wanted to play music. I wanted to be an entertainer. I wanted people to love me. I wanted respect, you know, and being a poor kid, man. I remember going over to a girlfriend's house like in the 7th grade, and her dad had met my dad in a bar, and my dad beat him up.
Right.
And small town. So I go over she invites me over to her house for dinner. Her dad starts talking to me. Oh, you're, Sammy Hagar? Is your dad Robert Hagar? Yeah. He got up and said, come on, open the door, and threw me out of the house.
Really?
Yeah. Wow. And I wasn't allowed to go over to her house anymore. And
that hurt, I bet.
Oh, it broke my heart. I was so embarrassed. You know how embarrassed I was the next day at school?
Sure.
It was like, because my dad was a drunk, and he was a violent drunk. And, you have things like that happen to you, or like you're driving down the street. This is terrible to say, but I'm going to tell you the truth. If anybody read my book, it's in there, all this stuff. You've been driving down the street with your buddies. You're just 16. You're just starting to pick up on girls. You got your car, and here's your dad, who is homeless at this time, walking down the street. And you see him, and you go, "Wow, that's my dad."
Yeah.
Oof.
Wow.
Yeah.
That cuts deep, though, doesn't it?
Oh,
I mean, it
makes
does.
you want to be somebody.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it does. It still touches me hard.
Yeah.
But
did your father ever live to see you successful?
no, that's a very that's just something you can't do anything about. But it's something that I could have helped him nowadays. But the whole thing about wanting to be rich and famous, I think I wanted it for the right reasons. It wasn't for greed. I wasn't greedy. I've never been greedy. I've always given my money away. I've always been willing to help other people.
Yeah.
I've always been fair to my family members and my band members with my success and my money. So I don't know. Happiness is a funny thing to achieve because, like I said, I know more miserable, rich, famous people than I do miserable, poor people.
Yeah, I think
are people that aren't doing so good
Right.
that are happy. I was happy when I was poor. I was never unhappy. I guess going back to your happiness thing, but.
You weren't satisfied, perhaps, but you weren't
No,
unhappy.
I'm still not satisfied.
Right.
I'm still not satisfied. I don't know really what I want anymore. I'm going, well, I gotta have dreams and I gotta want to achieve something. And right now, it's just more about feeding people and trying to start little businesses like my restaurants. I know you probably know this, but some people don't. The Sammy's Beach Bar and Grills, I give the money in Maui and in Honolulu, Cleveland, Las Vegas. I give the money to the community to help children with terminally ill families, with children that they've run out of insurance or never had insurance, which is tough. That's a big number, but we try and help. That's what I do, and then I feed people.
So you run these several restaurants that you give the profits away, kind of like Paul Newman does with his
That's where
product.
I got the idea.
Really? Okay. It must be so satisfying to be able to be in a position to do it. But a lot of people are in a position to do it, Sammy, and they don't. You do. That must be very satisfying.
Well, it's satisfying because I'm hands-on with it. I found when I first started doing things, I would write checks, and you just write a check. And I don't even write the check. My office writes it. Hey,
Right.
Renata, I got this letter from this person. I put the thing, say, write a check to that organization. I like that. That's all cool. But when I started with the restaurants, because of Paul Newman, he said one time, when you are in a position to help people, I saw an interview with him, and he said, it was an old interview, by the way, he had already passed, but he said, when you're in a position to help people and to do something about a bad situation, and you see it firsthand, you have to do it. No one can just turn their back on that. That he goes, no human being that what I would call a human being can just walk away. So I could help them, but I'm not going to do it.
Right.
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 When he said that, I just went, wow, that's heavy. And then I just opened my eyes and I saw a situation, which was food banks mainly, and children that are.
Don't have enough to eat.
Well, yeah, that's one of them, but also terminally ill children with families that can't do anything about it because they're broke or they don't even. It's just heart-wrenching. So I thought, oh no, I can do something about that. So I started my restaurant, Sammy's Beach Bar and Grill, for that reason. So I got HMS Host, a big organization that has restaurants all over the world at airports, and I said, hey, I have an idea for Sammy's Beach Bar and Grill. I can't use Cabo Wabo because it's nah. And they said, sure, what do you think? And I designed it it took me an hour. I said, like a beachy kind of place. And haul myself surfboards on the roof. Right? Duh.
Grass huts, grass roofs.
Yeah. No shirt, no shoes, no problem. You can come in. And anyway, and I said, I want to give all the money away. And they said, wow, we like it a lot. And I designed a menu. I said, everything but pizza and pasta because you got to do that right. But you can make a good hamburger, good hot dog, quesadillas, good taco, and some good salads. I want the mom walk through the airport and said, I'm hungry for a salad. And the dad's going, man, I need a big burger. And the kids are going, I want a hot dog, and okay.
Something for everyone.
Yeah, but no pizza and pasta, because you got to do that right.
Because you've been to Italy.
That's right.
You're a pizza snob.
Those are special places. So anyway, so they said yes, and it started happening, and we did it, and we've been doing it for a long time now, and it's great. But when you get hands-on, like I go down to food banks, and I take them the check, and I talk to the people.
Right.
And the reason food banks are so important to me is that they have families there. I'm going, whoa, this guy's not even homeless. He's got his wife and a couple kids, right?
Right.
And I talked to him and said, what are you doing there? The guy said, well, I'm a gardener. My wife's a maid. We have 4 kids. we can't make ends meet sometimes, and so we have to come to the food bank, and we have new tires for the car one month, and say now I can't do it anymore, And I'm going, this is wonderful. What a wonderful thing they go down and so they can not be hungry. There's no person in America should be hungry. The homeless situation, I hate to dig into that, but it's impossible. It's an epidemic. I don't even think there is an answer to it anymore. What I mean?
Does it surprise you what's happened in the Bay Area regarding the homeless?
Yes.
It's just exploded.
It just, everywhere though. You go to Chicago, you go to, it's
true.
been that way in New York for a long time. The Bay Area has escalated. I don't know. I'm not a politics guy. I'm saying I stay in the space between, which is what the album is about. It's about there is a safe place in between. You don't have to be left. You don't have to be right. You don't have to side with these radical, crazy people that are fighting. Say, no, I'm out.
There's a space in between.
In between. And you can just sit there and wait for the answer, or till it comes to you, or till someone hands it to you. But anyway, in the meantime, I feed those people. I don't think, I can't solve the homeless problem, but I want to feed them.
Yeah.
So I think that's the simplest solution. And when you go down and you talk to them and you see what kind of people are really in that line and what kind of food they're giving them, really, really good food.
Yeah, it's amazing the quality of the food they get.
And the buck goes so far. So anyway, I support food banks in every city I play for the last 10 years. Every time I do a concert, I give some money to the food bank.
You do?
Locally. And they either come to the show, or if it's a day off, I go down and give it and talk.
Good for you.
So that's how you feel it.
Right.
You know what I mean? If you just keep writing checks, you don't even.
You're
know
not
how much
connected to it.
No,
You're not connected to it.
You'll feel it better by getting
Right.
involved. It's tough. You
Yeah.
go to a hospital and see a kid that's Make-A-Wish Foundation things, and I've done it. And you go there and you spend the afternoon.
It's gut wrenching. It's really tough. It tears you up.
I can't do it.
Yeah,
I can't do it. I swear that's one place I do just write the check. And every now and then I try it again. I just tried St. Jude's a few months ago in Nashville or in Memphis. I'm sorry, and.
Just too much for you.
Just too much.
Yeah, it's hard.
I got on the phone with the family, and I was just, you cry for 2 hours afterwards. I don't know what good that is to have Sammy Hagar laying on the bed crying for 2 hours. I could be doing a lot more positive things for the world.
Well, but I think I don't know, but it certainly. You're obviously a compassionate guy, and do you think people? Obviously, you like people to know that about you because you're this rock and roll guy, rock icon, and all that. But there's a human side that I think you've tried to tap into in your personal life, and I know you like people to know that about you, that you care and you do things.
I do. There's so many people there's so much hate in the world right now. The people hate rich people. They hate successful people. They hate a guy because he's driving down the street in a Ferrari. I got freaking 8 Ferraris, you know what I mean?
Right.
And I thought, they shouldn't be mad at me. I worked for all this, and I help other people the best I can.
That attitude's changed. Last few years, we've had this change in attitude toward people with money.
Yeah, and it's like, here's what I decided. How could you be mad at Bill Gates, one of the richest men in the world? How could you be mad at Warren Buffett? Those guys build more schools and hospitals and help more people all around the whole world than together those two, and Oprah. Let's throw Oprah in there, and probably a couple more, I'm sure.
Sure.
Let's throw all those people together, and there's a handful, about 5 of the richest people on the planet, and they are doing more to help other people than the whole rest of the world put together almost. They're doing 50% of it themselves. How can you be mad at them for being rich? You got to be mad at a guy that, if I can use the word, somebody that screwed somebody out of their money and got rich that way. But if you,
that's a whole different
if you go dig a ditch, or you pick up a guitar and you play and you sing, and that's, you earned your money, so I'd like that hate to go away, and so that's why I want people to know that I'm not one of those guys. I don't burn people. I don't cheat.
Right.
I don't even invest my money. People are going to think you're crazy. I do. I have to, but I don't invest it to say let's double it. I go, I earn this. I don't want to lose it.
You're
safest place possible. Let's loan it to cities. I loan it to school districts. I loan it to cities that want to expand their water, supplies, and they need to dig trenches to make a better system for the community. I loan my money to those people. I loan my money to cities that I want to see build infrastructure.
So it's a win-win. It's a safe place for you to invest, and you help those communities.
Totally. And I do not put my money in stocks and things like that. I mean, I own some stock of companies that I like, energy companies.
Sure.
They're building solar panels and things, I invest in things that I think are good for the planet. And
so you're not a get up in the morning and check your portfolio guy.
Hell no. And I really think that if more people just thought about that way with their money, and help the community and help people in their community and feed people in their community The government wouldn't have to do so much, and we'd be in better shape. And it's, that think local thing. I love that.
You do.
Think global. Act local. That's me. I'm all about that.
What is it that? What is it, Sammy, that frustrates you about and worries you about the world today?
Yeah. The big divide, the big great divide. The crack in the world. That's between black and white, between left and right,
rich and poor.
Rich and poor. It's the opposites are. They hate each other, and it's so bad. Here we go, the goosebumps again. I don't know what happened, but that's why my last record with the Circle called Space Between, it's what it's about. It's all about, wait a minute, money is beautiful. You can help people, you can feed people, you can change the world, you can buy happiness, you can buy someone else happiness. You see some family that just needs $2,500 and they could keep their home and they don't go home.
Changes their life.
There's a small little tipping point now that you can really make a difference, and getting more involved with doing that and just stop hating each other. That's what drives me nuts. I can't stand the big divide. I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
But why does the left hate the right, and why does the right hate the left? They both want the same thing. They just want power over the other ones. It's greed. So my album Space Between, it says money is not the root of all evil. Greed is the root of all evil.
Big difference. They're not the same thing.
They're not the same thing.
Yeah. So that's what worries you. What comforts you about, or gives you, makes you feel secure about the world today?
Wow. Not much.
Really?
Yeah. Well, my family keep me comfortable. I know my kids are good kids, and they're raised. I know that my wife and my first wife this is my second marriage, but both of the kids and the families are tight, and they're good kids. No one's got in trouble.
Not easy to do with a rich and famous father.
Oh, not at all.
In rock and roll, no less.
Yeah.
That's tough.
So that comforts me to see that my children are growing up right. That gives me comfort and confidence that I did that part right, so that I'm not sitting worried about that. So that adds a little comfort to the thing. And I think being in my position, that what my goals are right now are to help people more. If I get more Sammy's Beach Bar and Grills, spread them out in different cities, I can help more people. Let's say if I had 100 of those, wow.
Would you? Do you aspire to have 100 of those,
yes.
or keep building?
Oh yeah, but I don't want to run them. See, that's a big headache.
Yeah,
HMS hosts are my partners, and they're doing great. But the competition has gotten so heavy in airports. They go in to an airport and they pitch a Sammy's Beach Bar and Grill, but there's about 10 other companies now that pitch a bunch of other brands, and the trend now is local. They say we want local businesses. If it's going to be a hamburger stand, we want to get a local hamburger stand owned by a family, and I like that. I'm for that because, the big conglomerate machines that have taken over, all the big box stores that putting mom and pop stores, neighborhood stores out of business. It's not evil or anything, but it's pretty tough. It's
hard to see. Hate to see it.
Yeah, you hate to see it going on.
You like, ordinary folks to be able to earn a living in business in their community.
Yeah, I really do. So I'm okay with the airport thing, but so we're not expanding as quick as I would like. But it's okay. I'm not greedy, and I'm not, I'm not desperate. So I just wait, and the more happens. I hope my kids someday will continue on with this consciousness. I think they will. Right now, they're trying to do their own thing. They say, "Oh, I don't want to be like Dad. Oh, and I'm not going to work for Dad's company."
Are any of your kids in music or trying to be in music?
My son Andrew Hagar. Yeah, he's with Andrew Hagar and the Holy Stone. The name of his Holy Stone Revival.
Oh boy!
And he's got these guys, and he's doing this folk garage punk.
Are they pretty good?
They're really good.
Really?
He's getting a really good songwriter. And he's got it. He's got it.
You can tell. Yeah.
I can tell. So I'm happy that he's doing it. But I don't really care if they follow my footsteps. I want him to run my businesses. I want him to go to business school, you little twerps, and learn how to run my business so I can retire.
Are you close with your kids?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So close.
Let me ask you this question. You were in especially in the heyday, when life was, you were on a roller coaster. Were you a good father back then?
Even when I was really, really busy, when the time I had for my kids was second to nothing, I wrestled them kids, man. I goofed. I did everything but drive them to school because I'm not a morning kind of guy. They'd get up and they'd come in and see me. I'd wrestle them in bed, and I go back to bed, and my wife would drive them to school. I'm always there for them. If they can call me up and I'm in the middle of some crazy whacked out business thing, about ready to run on stage, and my daughter or my son will call up and say, "Hey, Pop, I need some advice, you know that," and I stop and I give it to them, and they know that. That's why they're good kids. I think they know they're loved, and I can say that for any kids, any parents. If your children feel loved, they will go through life so confident, and not empty. They will go out into the world with a full belly and a full heart. And I learned that. My dad, who died in the street in the back of a police car, you know, an alcoholic, complete homeless person in his mid-40s, turned into that. Went about 10 years, died at 56. He, whenever I would see him, was giving me the most love in the world. He was so happy. He loved me. I knew he loved me. It was like, as bad as it was.
And as many problems as he had, that didn't affect his love for you.
It didn't. And so I always felt like, I'm a pretty confident little guy for this little poor guy.
And you always knew you were loved, you're saying?
I did, yeah. And I'm telling the parents this, you know, parents, I'm telling you, you show your children that they are loved and they have a home and they're welcome to come back to home, that you're there for them or whatever. You know, let them know that. Don't make them feel insecure.
Yeah, I've always told Mike, I have two sons, 26 and 28. You can talk to me about anything and never get in trouble for that. You know, you can talk to me about anything.
Yeah, don't lie to me. That's our rule. Yeah. Don't lie to me.
Just tell me the truth.
Nope. Yeah. You lie to me. Now I can't trust you. You know? Now I got to question whatever you say.
Right.
Makes
and
it,
you feel like you've had that relationship with them?
Absolutely. Yeah, both of them. Even my boys, like I said, from the previous marriage, it was never a problem. You know, with mom saying bad things about me or me saying bad things about their mom. Never. Even during the divorce, which was not pretty. I was in Van Halen. Okay, I was in the biggest band in the world getting divorced. Right, it's not good. Right. But we didn't do that dog thing. Thank God, she was a good person.
You protected the kids in that process,
absolutely.
Especially good.
And no, I love my kids. I'm not crazy about having my grandkids. I've got 2 grandkids, and when they come and see me and they say, "Hey, Grandpa," and I'm going,
Grandpa?
Who the hell are you talking to? And I realize, oh, it's me. I'm a grandpa. Yeah, I am.
You know, you're 71 now, right?
72 next month.
72 next month. This October, I'll be 72. I remember Robert Redford, when he turned 70, was interviewed and asked, and I remember listening to this answer. He said, "How does it feel to be 70?" And he said, "I can't really wrap my mind around it yet." Do you have that same feeling?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you're obviously a very young 72.
I have
but
no clue that when I was growing up, my grandpa, when he was 50, he was done. I couldn't imagine him having sex, right? I mean, let's just go right there, right? Let's go right to the point here, man. It's like, nothing has changed with me. And the only thing I can tell you that is every now and then, in a middle of the night, waking up, thinking about things, reflecting, just for no reason.
Right.
I think, wow, I probably got 20 more years to live, and that'd be a long life. I think 30. I want to live to be 100. I really do, not because I want to be wheeled around and or laying in bed someplace on oxygen when I'm 100, but I plan on staying healthy that way. And so I'm thinking, but even if I have only 28 years left on this planet, if I think about the last 28 years, when I first met my second wife, Kari, we've been together 28 years, I'm going, whoa, that was quick. And that's the only thing that freaks me out about being 70 or being old. Other than that, everything else is fine. I'm fine. I can still jump over stuff. I can sing, play guitar as good as better than I ever could. I don't know. I'm all right. Yeah. My eyes are good. My ears are a little shaky. Sure.
What rock and roll musician doesn't have shaky?
Yeah, right. It's like, no. What was I saying? I was thinking the other day when I was brushing my hair out, and I started looking. I could see my scalp, and I'm not real vain, but I'm going, wow, man, my hair is thinning, but I'm not. I was standing there with
That's a good line. Actually. That's a good line.
With no shirt in front of the mirror. I'm going, yeah, my hair is thinning out, but I'm not.
Yeah, I want the other part to thin. That's a good line. You're a young 72, but these days, like to your point, I remember when my grandmother at 60, they were older. They dressed old. They did old people things. It's a whole different. They did. It was a totally different lifestyle back then. And now people, I'm on the treadmill. There's an 85-year-old guy next to me, with an iPhone, listening to music. It's things have changed, right? Like your song says, things have changed.
Well, there you go. That's going back to the song I wrote with Jesse Hart.
I like that tune. Yeah. let me ask you this: at 72, about to be 72, do you think you have changed over the years since you were a young man?
Not much, but I'm more compassionate. I'm not so self-centered. You know, being a rock star and having that right in front of you and being in a band like Van Halen that big, like it or not, as much as I thought I wasn't like a rock star, I look back and I think, oh, you silly rock star. You know, you were so full of yourself. You know, I used to get so dressed up to go out, and I wanted to be the person noticed walking to the room. I want everybody to turn and look at me, and I wanted all the girls to go, woo, you know. I got to tell you. And so I ain't like that. So that's really the only thing that's changed is probably my desire to really be somebody. I still have desire, but I can't explain it. But I don't think my heart has changed one bit.
You don't. But no. you look back and go, hey, well, maybe I was not quite the person I wanted to be in terms of being more selfish when you're younger. But you're also building a career, and it's a different time.
I was selfish, but not in a bad way. I wasn't greedy. I was selfish. I was self-centered. I wanted the world to revolve around me. And you know, power and wealth can be a really dangerous thing, you know, for a young person. And I didn't abuse it. I didn't hurt anyone. I abused my rock star abilities to have anything and everything I wanted when I wanted it. And so I did a little bit of abuse there. You know, had a lot of sexual relationships outside of my marriage, which I don't anymore. But with my first marriage, I was not happy about those kind of things, and I wouldn't do those things anymore. I think I'm just more considerate. It's the only way to put it. In one nutshell, I am a more considerate person. When I'm driving, I don't haul ass and drive crazy and reckless and cut people off. Go, I'm getting there real quick, you know, because I'm in a hurry to get there. I don't do that anymore. Not because I'm.
So
afraid.
You can drive 55.
Oh yeah, I can. Yeah. I don't like it,
but you'll do it.
But I will do it for the safety of others and my personal safety.
Are you happier now as a result of those changes in your life with maturity, or?
I'm pretty happy. But I was happy, man, when I was, you know, at the peak of my career, like from the I Can't Drive 55 era, my album VOA. When I started being platinum, I probably about 82, 83 when I had my first platinum albums, I became a millionaire, you know, and I was really happy with that. I really was. And through the Van Halen era, I was really happy until that band broke up. That was my first. I get divorced, and then the next year the band breaks up. And that's as close to me being miserable, saying, man, what the hell
was that the toughest time of your life?
Kind of. Yeah, there was a time that I was most disappointed.
Yeah.
I was disappointed that the band broke up. I was disappointed that, you know, I was getting involved with lawyers, and I found out how they were just digging, you know, at this divorce. It was, you know, like I say, being rich and famous. I got called some bad names in depositions where I wanted to jump up and punch people's faces out. You know, I was rocking, man. I was like,
they went after you, right?
They came after me. And I saw a real ugly side of human beings, and I saw an ugly side of my friends Van Halen, you know, Eddie and Alex. I saw a real ugly side to them. And that was a disappointing time. But the funny thing is, going back to the word love, I fell in love with Kari, who I'm still with 28 years later, and I was in love. So it made everything okay. It's like,
as long as you had that.
I wanted to be with her. That's all I wanted to be. I said, let's just travel the world. I don't have to worry about nothing anymore. You know, forget those guys. And it was like,
just live your life.
Yeah, it was like somebody said, hey man, somebody just stole your car. I'm in love. I don't care. And let them have it.
Right.
You know,
if they want it that bad.
So that took me through it.
Right.
But I was very happy at the peak of my musical success.
Right. You're kind of back. You've never stopped making music, but you're really focusing on that kind of in a new way. What is it about music that still just turns you on? That you just can't.
Wait, Dan, would you tell the folks the question? Would you answer the question you just asked me? Because you know.
Well, I do. It's something you're passionate about. You can't help it.
And you can play music the rest of your life, right? And
right. That's true.
It feels so good.
I do get it, but you're at a whole different level.
Well, I'll help you out in this interview. Okay, I'll cooperate, Dan. I thought maybe you had a better handle on this.
No.
It's the same thing.
You've heard me sing. I don't have a better handle.
It's magic. It's from the ether. It's like, you know, you open your mouth and you play a guitar or play music and you start singing. Man, it just feels like the God's coming right through you. It's a great feeling, and it's addicting. And
you said one time there's an expression you love about singing that's unique. That's your instrument, and you're a great guitar player, of course, but something about singing that's an expression that's different than other aspects of music.
Yeah. 100% right. Singing is, you open your mouth, you are who you are. There's guys that sing fake. You know, there's guys that all of a sudden they'll talk like this, and when they start singing, you know, or something like that. Right. Oh, wait a minute. Well, I mean, maybe that's your expression. But when you're really just true, honest, and sing the way you sing and who you are, that's your identity. People hear me singing, and they go, oh, that's Sammy Hagar. You know, you hear Mick Jagger sing, oh, that's Mick Jagger. You hear Rod Stewart sing, well, that's Rod Stewart, because, you know,
it's unique to them.
It's unique to them. And so the more unique you can be to yourself, and true to yourself, if you have the guts to do it, because, man, to walk up to a microphone and just sing and let it out the way who you really are, it's embarrassing.
It is. It's, I mean,
flat embarrassing.
It's not easy.
But it's rewarding. You feel good after you do it.
Do you still feel the embarrassment?
Oh, heck yes.
No, come on.
Oh, yeah. It's embarrassing to sing. Like right now, if you ask me to sing, oh, man, you know.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I need a big band with me, and I feel more comfortable singing. But
you've got one of the greatest rock and roll voices. Everybody always talks about it, and yet you still feel the twinge of being uncomfortable at times or embarrassed about it.
Yeah. I just interviewed Def Leppard for my TV show, Rock and Roll Road Trip. And I kind of knew this, but Joe Elliott, the singer, he said, you know, he's going, oh, mate, you know, you don't know. He's all humble. And someone said, dude, man, you guys are doing really good. You know, don't bow down to me, please. You know,
you're doing fine.
And he's going, no, you don't understand. Like, my first album was Montrose. I bought it and I put it on. I heard your voice. I just said, wow, I want to be you. I want to be that. That's what I want to do. And things like that. And saying, and you still sing so good, man. It's like, God, what an honor. And man, I don't feel that way at all. I mean, I'm humble about myself, about my vocal success, man. It's like I said, I'm still embarrassed to sing. I'm still struggling to sing the best I can. But like I said, it feels so damn good. There's something about playing music when you write a new song. It's like having a baby, man. It's like, you know, boom, here it is. You know, it's very special. And I realize it is the whole reason I am who I am today and where I could have had none of this, because I had no education, I had no backing, I had no money, I had no nothing. Music got me where I am. My bands, my music, songwriting. So I respect that, and I back on it, and I'm thinking, I don't know how much longer I can be great as a performer and as a singer, as a guitar player, as a songwriter, and walking out on stage and giving it what I've done in my life. I mean, I've been a pretty good performer. I gave it all. I walk off a stage, I'm done. I don't want to talk to nobody. I'm sorry, no, I can't meet that person. I just did a show.
You're wiped out.
I'm wiped. I gave it everything. Do
you feel like inside you're running out of time to keep doing that?
Maybe. Or? I don't know how good I can be. I don't know how much longer I can do it. So that's why I decided to get back on the horse. You know, I was taking a big break after Van Halen. I went out and toured for about 10 years with the Wabos, and about 10 years ago, I said, I'll do 20, 30 shows a year. I don't need to make a record. You know, I didn't do it. And I'm going, no, I need to do that while I still can. I had an enlightening moment, and I thought to myself, you know, I see guys my own age and that can't sing that good anymore, and I see guys that out there having to do it, and they're not doing a very good job because they hate it. I'm going, I don't ever want to be that guy. So before I get to a place where I'm going, man, I got to walk on stage tonight. I'm not going to be able to sing. I'm not any good anymore. You know, I got to wheel myself out in a wheelchair and then get up and act like I'm okay. I can't be that guy. So I decided, well, I'm still healthy and strong, that I'm going to stay on it for a while.
Good for you.
Yeah, it ain't about money. Like I said, I give a lot of money away.
Yeah, you don't need to do it for the money. Obviously, you do it for the passion. Let me ask you, because you made this comment about talking about being embarrassed a little bit about singing still.
Yeah.
I'll tell you a quick story that I tell when I talk to young people. When I was 22 or 23, trying to get my first job on television, I was sitting in a TV station, didn't have an appointment, with my little resume tape, sitting in the lobby hoping to see the news director, and I looked up on the wall, and they had all these pictures of anchors on the wall, their anchor team. And I had this rush of insecurity, and I thought, what are you doing? You're making a fool of yourself.
I get it.
You're not one of those people, they put a picture on the wall of a station. Are you crazy? I just felt absurd, you know, and it worked out. And so I always tell you, hey, the secret is there's no secret. You got to kind of face your fear and don't stop yourself. What would you say, given, I think people would be surprised to know, as fantastic as you are on stage, that you still feel a little embarrassed or uncomfortable about it at times. What would you tell people in all walks of life about facing what worries them?
Man, that sounds like the whole trilogy of Star Wars and all that about, you know, facing your monsters and all that. Who was the guy? Joseph Campbell, you know,
right.
who had the mass man, that whole Joseph Campbell theory. Wow, you know, yeah, if you don't give it a shot, you're never going to get it. I mean, you have to, you can't back down from what you're afraid of. Just because thinking you can't put yourself in, just because they are those icons, you can be those guys. I would tell anyone, you can be anything, you can dream it, and I believe this. You can dream it, if you can think it, it can be done. And you really have to just keep your head down and work. Say, oh, I'm not as good now, but I'm going to learn. And you just always don't be afraid to work for it. Don't be afraid to ask for it. Don't be afraid to jump in there, you know. Take every opportunity. You know, I've had so many times I had egg in my face where I looked like an idiot for jumping in and saying I could do something, and then I couldn't. Well, shoot, here I am. All right, but you learn from that. You go, okay, now I'm not going to do that again. I'm going to learn a little bit more before I jump in there. And do
but don't be afraid to fail.
Don't be afraid. Fear is a horrible thing, and most of it's coming from you. Other people aren't laying the fear on you. You know, that's like a bully. If a bully's coming up to you and saying, man, you do that, I'm going to beat you up, that's different.
But we limit ourselves so often.
Limit ourselves. There you go, Dan. I think that's a good way to say, don't limit yourself to anything. If you feel it and want it and believe in it, and you can have it. It's there, man. I came from no education. I came from nothing. I was thrown out of high school my senior year. I'm embarrassed about that. I'm sorry, folks. I was a very smart kid, too. I could have been a straight A student, and I was up until I discovered cars and girls and guitar. Sorry to say, but you could still make it. You know what I mean?
Right.
You just got to have a dream and go after it.
Okay. And you know a lot about dreams, obviously, in your life. And one of the things that I will, as we start to wrap up here, I do want to talk about your remarkable business interests. Cabo Wabo started, and then you had the rum. You have the rum brand, the tequila brand, and
Sammy's Beach Bar Rum, and now a new tequila.
In fact, we have. I want to show that. How did you get into the spirits business? You know, are you a big drinker guy or not?
No, I'm not. I drink, but I mean, I don't drink in the daytime. For instance, this is called Santo Mezquila. It's half mezcal and half tequila. But I'll explain what you're talking about before. Let me hype my products first.
Sure.
And these are the new ones, which I brought you this. Right. I already gave you this last year.
Okay, and I'm going to call you out, too, because I'm always happy for you to talk about this. But the funny part is you meant to bring this from home, and you forgot. So you had to stop and buy your own product.
I stopped at a grocery store, Mill Valley Market, and I bought this. And the lady goes, you look familiar. I'm going, don't tell anyone.
Fun. Anyway,
but this is a new one. This is the tequila that this is half 50% of. This is mezquila because it's 50% mezcal and 50% tequila. And this is pure the tequila that it was. Because Guy Fieri, who said when I sold Cabo Wabo, he said, dude, if you ever start in the company, I want to be your partner. I said, you got it, right? He's my buddy. Right? We've been friends forever. It's 10 years ago he said that to me. Then when I started this and he heard about it, he went, hey, come on, man, who's your buddy? I said, oh, God, you know what? I wasn't thinking. He said, is it too late to get in? I said, no, it's not, because I'm making tequila right now. This hadn't come out. This is about 6 months ago. He said, can I get in? I said, you're my buddy. Yep, bang, 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 bang.
Well, you know what and you sold the first company for $1 gazillion. I've read 80
more
million.
Money than I read. It was, it's $100 million, but I kept 20%, so I got 80.
But you couldn't imagine that when you were a kid. You couldn't imagine that when you're in Van Halen and already a rich and successful rock star. Yeah, but is there something about being in business? Obviously, it's great to make the money, and you do some good things with the money too, as well as live a nice lifestyle. Is there something about expressing yourself in business that's a little like expressing yourself in music? For you?
It's a lot like it. You know, it's like seeing your tequila. When I walked to that grocery store and I said, I want to make sure they have it. And there was my 3 rums, Sammy's Beach Bar rum, you know, the cola, the macadamia nut, the redhead, and the white. And then there was this sitting next to it. I went, I'm looking around.
Is that kind of like walking into a music store and seeing your album?
Exactly like going, it's under S, under H. There's all my albums, man. It's like, whoa, you know. Or driving down the street, turn on the radio and hear a song on the radio. When you walk into a bar, and you see somebody's, you know, your booze on the back and see somebody drinking it, that's like hearing a song on the radio. It's the same damn thing, and I promote it the same way. You know, bartenders are the most important guys in the spirits industry. Right. If they like your booze, they'll use it, and they'll push it. A guy will go up and say, hey, man, well, give me a shot of some other tequila. The guy said, have you tried, you know, Santo?
He'll help you out.
Yeah, even if he doesn't like you and likes your booze, right?
Right.
He wants to give the guy the best deal. DJs used to do the same thing. Your record. If they liked your new record, at midnight when they could do whatever they wanted, say, "I'm gonna play a new Sammy Hagar record. I'm gonna play a new Van Halen." So it's the same business. But what I like about business is it's creative. For me, I get an idea, and I go, "Wow, I have this idea," and then you say, "Wow, it's a good idea." And then you go start doing it, and then you see it develop and happening, and then here it is. That's like magic. Out of the ether, I made this. Okay, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not in the spirits industry, but because I won once, I said I can do it again, and I like it. And it's really a fun industry because I always want to make the best product. My goal is I want to make the best product. I want to make this to be the best Blanco tequila in the world, and it is. And not the biggest. If it becomes the biggest, lucky me.
Right.
But Cabo Wabo wasn't the biggest. It was third to the biggest at one time. Now there's a zillion tequilas out there, and the Cabo Wabo's still doing well. But I like the success. I love seeing something develop and see it materialize. It's like, reading the Bible or something, saying God said, on this day I want this, and boom, struck down, lightning came down, and there it was. Right. That's like this for me, because it's like writing a song. It comes out of the ether.
Then you like a song, you made it. It's your product. It's
so that makes me happy.
I'm going to put this down so we get the. So it does make you happy. I mean, it's as much as a moneymaker, it's an expression of who you are.
It's not about money as much as it's about the success of the brand and the fulfillment of a dream. Yeah. A thought, you have thought, word, action, and it happens. And then there it is. It's a 3-step thing.
A lot of people stop at thought, don't they?
Oh my gosh. Let me tell you. Yeah. That's the biggest mistake people make. I had this great idea. What do you think? And they say, well, when did you come up with that idea? Oh man, I had it like 20 years. Right. You haven't done anything yet.
That might be the time.
Yeah. See, I'm one of those knee-jerk guys. Right. Everyone tells me if I have one problem, I'm way too anxious. I never see the downside, and I'm knee-jerk. And I'm going, yeah, that's been the success of Sammy Hagar.
A little impulsive.
Yeah. A little more. I get the idea. I'm jumping out of bed and going right after it. Right. So anyway, don't procrastinate.
Before we go, I'm going to wrap up in a second, but I want to play 7 questions with you.
Sure.
So quick answers.
Why 7?
Guess ABC 7.
Oh,
we're not as dumb as we look, Sammy. Come on.
I'm in. I love 7.
Paris or London?
London.
Interesting. That's interesting. All right. Porsche or Ferrari?
Oh, Ferrari.
Yeah. Okay. You have Porsches, right? Or you've had them?
I've had them.
Yeah. Okay. Favorite movie of all time?
Oh, that's a tough one. Tough. Pulp Fiction.
Pulp Fiction. Great movie. Fun. Handshake or hug? I know the answer.
Oh, hug.
Yeah.
Oh. Hey, people try to do a handshake with me. I shake their hand and I reach them, grab them.
I do the same thing. I do the same thing. Okay. Favorite musician of all time?
Peter Gabriel.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Really? Why? Just quickly.
He's so passionate and soulful and deep, clever, wise.
And unique. He's different.
Yeah, unique. And he sings about stuff that I don't even know what he's talking about. and I'm going, yeah, I'm buying it.
Cool. All right. I think I know the answer to this one. In general, kids, but in general in life, tough love or softy?
I'm a softy.
Softy?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I mean, I think tough love's better. My wife does that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you wish you were tougher sometimes on the kids?
Yeah. I can't do it. My girls come up and say, "Hey, Daddy, I want that." And I'm going, "Yeah, okay." And Kari's going, "You can't just do that. They're going to work for it."
Can't do it. Okay. Last question, number 7 here: hamburger or steak?
Oh, hey, listen, a good burger is tough to beat. I don't want to procrastinate on this one, but if you grind that right steak up, I'll take the burger.
Oh, if it's a steak burger.
Yeah.
Okay. That's kind of cheating.
It is.
Let me ask you, Sammy, as you look back at everything that you've done, you said you wanted to be rich and famous. You became rich and famous. You've seen yourself change over the years, and you say now you're more compassionate maybe than you were, or less self-absorbed than you were when you were younger at the height of your rock star fame. What do you look forward to in the next 10, 20, or 30 years of your life? What do you think about? Do you worry about the future? Are you excited about your future?
I'm not worried about my personal future. I'm worried about the future of this planet and this country and just human beings in general. But rather than go there, I'm looking forward to staying healthy, continuing on doing what I do best, and that's the things that I've already done. Quite honestly, I don't think I'm going to bite off any any brand new idea like hey,
big new project.
Yeah, not a new one. I mean, probably deal with things I've done before.
Okay.
I wouldn't mind writing another book. I thought that
really. What would you write this next book about?
Oh, it's the second chapter. My God, my book was up to about when I was maybe 60. I don't know how long ago it was.
Right.
And man, since then I could write a book from this just from my 60s.
Okay.
All the stuff that happened. I like writing a book because it's enlightening. If you write a book about yourself, and you're telling the stories, and then they're writing them and they're transcribing, and then you read it and you go, whoa. That's me. It's very self-enlightening.
Yeah.
And
you learned about yourself in that process.
Yes,
probably.
I really did.
Yeah.
I found out. I saw my weaknesses, and I saw that I'm a workaholic. I didn't realize. Everyone tell me, "You're a workaholic. You're a workaholic. You need help." I'm going, "Oh, are you kidding me, man? I'm a lazy bum." And I read my book. Oh, my God, no, you're not.
Do you think you became a better person or understood yourself better having written that book?
Absolutely. I got so many things off my back. I threw up. I regurgitated, or whatever you call it.
Regurgitate. Was it sort of cathartic? You kind of got it all out there?
Just got it all out. I said it all. I said I'm sorry about things. I confessed to things that my ex-wife, never knew.
That must have been hard.
It was hard. There was moments where I said,
I don't know.
And I said, nope, you can only write your biography once. I don't want to say, oh, well, that ain't what really happened. So I went straight up honest. Made a lot of people unhappy for a while.
But it was true.
Yeah, made some enemies out of the Van Halen brothers who were already my enemies.
Right.
But it made it a little harder to patch up because I told what we did.
I wasn't going to ask you a Van Halen question, but I will ask you this Van Halen question, just because you answer them all the time, Sammy. But in this context of reflecting on your life, and we talk about what really matters, is there part of you that truly, seriously, would love to patch that up just once and for all? Even if you never played another note together? That's not just 100%. As human beings.
I have two ways to put it. If I never played another note together with them as long as I live, don't want either one of us to go to our grave and say, damn, now we can't patch that up. I don't want to take nothing to my grave. No enemies going to my grave with me if I can help it. If they force it and they won't, I've reached out many times and I get no response for some reason. But it's okay. I can deal with it as long as I'm not carrying it.
Okay.
Any grudge. It's the way I'm trying to deal with it now. But if I had one show that I could do, Sammy, you have one show you can do, one left, then no more. That's it. I would ask Eddie, Alex, and Michael Anthony to do it. I would rather do one more Van Halen show than even what I'm doing now with the Circle, my favorite band I've ever been in, because we play my whole career and we play it really good.
Phenomenal band.
Phenomenal band.
But
I would rather just do one show. If I say, if I'm never going to do it, I got to do it. No, we got to do this for the fans. It was the biggest part of my career and my whole life. And so you would want to take the biggest thing and please the most people and have it the most rewarding to yourself by going, wow, we got that done. You know what I mean?
It sounds like to me you're saying you'd like to do it for the fans, but you'd like to do it because it was an important part of your music career, but maybe it's a little bit of closure with the Van Halens.
It does it all. But I mean, I don't want to do a tour with those guys.
No, sure.
No. I don't want to go back in the studio and torture myself or be tortured. Right. So I wouldn't. I'm not asking for that. I'm not even asking to do anything. But I'm just saying, if somebody said, "Sammy, you got one show left to do, and you're done. We're not going to let you play ever again. Who do you want to play with?" I'd say, go call up Eddie and Alex and Mike and get them down here. Let's do a show.
If you could sit down to dinner with anyone in history, living or dead, who would it be?
Ooh, I like this one.
Who would it be? Have a conversation.
Oh my gosh,
I know that's putting you on the spot.
Well, because there's people that have been like Paramahansa Yogananda. Okay, I mean, but I'm not sure I'd take him over Elvis. You know what I mean?
Maybe.
I think I would sit down and have dinner with Elvis at any time of his whole career. I just think Elvis was the greatest rock star that ever lived, and man, there's no question about it.
When he must have had a big impact on you when he first hit the scene and you saw him, like the Beatles for people a little later. Yeah,
I've had impact by so many, great bands and great musicians, and great artists, and in different generations. Right down to, you know, lately, Tool. I just love that new record. I just think they're just the best artists on the planet. But Elvis, I mean, he still has an impact. If I'm just coincidentally, I'll be watching a movie and I hear an old Elvis song, or if I'm just sitting around and I hear a, you know, Hound Dog, or even, you know, or All Shook Up, or anything from Elvis, and you hear that guy, and you go, oh my God, listen to that guy singing, man. He was the best. He was so badass. So I want to sit down and talk to Elvis and eat bacon.
Sammy, great to come on. I really appreciate
Dan,
it.
thank you. Listen, you're good, man. You should do this for a living if you wanted.
Maybe one day they'll let me.
Yeah.
Sammy, thanks for talking about what really matters.
Thank you.